Right, you alive, Counselor Memhard?
Very good. Thank you, Sherry. I'd like to welcome anyone watching now or later to the City of Gloucester's Budget and Finance Committee meeting of June 9th. My name is Scott Memhard. I'm the Ward 1 Counselor and Budget and Finance Committee Chair. Tony Gross, Counselor at Large, is the Vice Chair, and Jeff Worthley is unavoidably detained by a school performance with his daughter, to which we wish him well this evening. Also with us are our City Auditor, Kenny Costa, City CFO, John Dunn, and I don't know, Jill snuck us in on a busy, I'm sure a very, very busy day for you. So welcome, Jill. And then Sherry Carvalhas is our recording secretary, keeping us all in line. I'll go ahead and read the preamble here that, consistent with Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021, this meeting will be conducted by remote participation and the public may not physically attend the meeting, but every effort will be made to allow the public to view and to listen to the meeting in real time and participate when necessary. Persons who wish to do so are invited to follow the instructions on the invitation or the agenda item to log in either by telephone or on their personal computing device. We have a relatively short agenda. We have an item from the Harbor Master for supplemental appropriation, a memorandum for the fire chief about ambulance billing and ambulance collection, which is an interesting item for our discussion. Memorandum from the Veterans Affairs Director, recognizing acceptance of donations, and from the Elder Affairs Director, also accepting donations, and then a memorandum from the City Auditor regarding accounts having expenditures exceeding authorizations in the auditor's report and all other related matters. And here's Councillor Tracy O'Neill. Thank you so much, Tracy.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Sherry. I just got your email.
No worries. Thank you for
Thanks.
coming on.
We really appreciate you stepping in and covering. Jeff gave us late notice that he's attending a school program for his daughter, and both Val and Jason were unavailable. So thank you so much for jumping on board at late notice from your busy schedule.
Happy to. Thanks a lot.
Great, well, welcome. Is there any objection if I go ahead and take things in order? Seeing none. Harbor Master and Supplemental Appropriation Budgetary Request 2022 SBT 3 in the grand amount of $450. And who is speaking to this?
I can speak to it. I think it's pretty straightforward. As anybody who knows our shellfish constables, they work very, very hard regularly anyway. But there was some damage that was done to the herring run through by both beavers and or the MBTA construction. So they went over their overtime budget just a tiny bit, and so we're hoping you'll support it.
And you couldn't convince the beavers or the MBTA to do the reconstruction themselves. Understood. The bureaucracy with the MBTA would be even worse than with the beavers.
Yeah, exactly. I'd rather ask the beavers.
Nothing against beavers, but or the MBTA. Makes sense to me. Are there any questions from councilors?
No, I see that this money is just being transferred because there's a surplus in the netting project on the mud flats. So that's. Oh.
Sorry, I didn't look. I looked to see that it came out of an item that had money. So.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and just I should add that, clearly we don't take overtime lightly, like I am in this case, but it's for $450. But no, we wouldn't be moving this through lightly if it was either funds weren't available or it was a larger number. So
right.
they run a tight ship.
And also, yes, and also this comes from an ordinary account into a salaried account. So that's the reason it's before us.
Right, and there's still $2,500 left in that ordinary account, and we're 11 and a half months through the year, so they should be fine.
Thank you. Seeing no further questions, Tracy, did you have anything?
No, not at all. Thank you.
Okay, great. I'd go ahead and make the motion that, let's see, my motion here. Let's see. Okay, I'm just going to switch over to another view here.
Still with us?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay.
I thought I
That's
had,
all.
I thought I had, sorry, I thought I had the template for the motions up, which Kenny had kindly sent us. So let me just pull that back up again. Excuse me for a moment. I hate to do this again. There you are, Kenny. Yeah. So, excuse the delay there. I would move to recommend that the City Council Budget and Finance Committee recommend to the City Council that we approve special budgetary transfer SPT 2022-3 in the amount of $450 from the account as noticed, General Fund Shellfish Supplies to the account as noted, General Fund Shellfish overtime for the purpose of an overtime shortfall due to tidal work to be done on the herring run that was damaged by beavers and the MBTA railway project. And I so move.
Second.
Any further discussion? Motion's been made and seconded. I'd like to peg it on the beavers, but I know it was the MBTA. Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call vote. Councillor Gross,
Yes.
Councillor O'Neill,
Yes.
Councillor Memhard, yes. Motion passes unanimously, and we'll let the Shellfish folks go at it. And the second item is our interesting one this evening, memorandum from the fire chief and the fire department ambulance billing service regarding the collection policy for the fiscal year 2023 budget. And is that a John or a Jill?
I'll take that, counsel.
It's a nasty business, but it's the cost of doing ambulance service, I guess.
Well, it is. So there's two pieces to this tonight. One is to set the ambulance rates for next fiscal year, 2023. And those, if you have your packet, are on the second page following the letter from Barry F. And you can see it's headed EMS fees FY 2023. The fees that you see there are the same as they have been for the past 2 years. So this will be the third year at this level. It's really kind of acknowledgement of the issues that surround the COVID-19 pandemic and the attempt to kind of hold the cost down as best as we can and just keep moving forward. So they feel, the chief feels that these fees are adequate for next year and would like to just see those renewed as is.
Perhaps you could just give us a little background generally, John, if you don't mind stepping into the police department's role, especially for Tracy's benefit, to explain the mechanism of how this comes about and our efforts to make good on those collections and our history with this and how this number falls into recent history.
Yeah, I could certainly do that. Again, at this point, we're just on the first piece, which is the fee setting for next year. If you don't have any particular questions, again, this will be the third year of this level of fees. Basically, the folks over the fire department do check around, both locally and statewide as to what ambulance fees are. Ours have been kind of historically average to a little bit above average. But again, as we hold these fees, we think that we will be okay for the coming year. So that's it as far as fees go. I don't know if anybody has any questions on that.
I do.
Please,
Um,
Tracy, go ahead.
Yeah, I apologize. I'm brand new to this. So, a yearly reimbursement program is 358,000, 5% increase from last fiscal year.
I don't think we're on that yet, are we?
So, yeah, so that's a second piece of this, Counselor. So we're
Oh,
not
sorry.
there. We're not there yet.
Okay,
We
sorry.
don't vote on that piece. We only vote on this piece.
Yeah, so again, the first piece is just the fees for next year, which again, as I said, are going to be consistent with where they've been for the past 2 years. So I can then go on to the second piece of this, which is the write-off. So we bill at the rate for everybody at the standard rate that our fees are set at. However, it is not unusual for one of the people that we service or multiple people that we service that they don't give us their proper name because they can't. They don't give us a proper name and address because they lie to us. They may not be able to communicate that information when they are serviced. They may be indigent. So there's a number of situations that happen where we don't have necessarily proper information or valid information on the patient that we are giving the service to. Once they are delivered to the medical facility, which generally is going to be a hospital, we then run into issues where that medical facility is oftentimes not going to share information with us because of HIPAA regulations. So we're kind of stuck. Fortunately, it doesn't happen all that often, but it does happen and is fairly consistent through the years. So we last year, for example, the write-off this year is $319,735. Last year, it was $349,763. The previous year, it was $520,625, but that was for an 18-month period as opposed to a 12-month period, which both this year and last year reflect. If we were to take that $520,000 and adjust it for 12 months instead of 18, then that would have come in at about $347,000. So what we're seeing with this 319 this year is that it's about 10% less than what it had been, what it had been over the past 2 years for a 12-month period. Now, again, what we've got is these are situations where we've attempted to make collection, but after a year, sometimes more than that, we're probably not going to be able to make the collection. Again, we just don't have enough information to be able to contact the patient that we delivered the service to. Now, there's also some other issues out there where the service was delivered as a result of, for example, a car accident. And in that case, 2 vehicles involved. Now you've got multiple insurance companies involved, subrogation going on, legal aspects. I mean, it could be a situation where we might get some of this back 2 or 3 years from now, but we don't have it right now, and it's been over a year, so it's better to clear the books. Now, we do get from the federal government and from the state a reimbursement each year, not specifically linked to the write-offs that we have, but there's a formula out there that they use. So this year, as the letter had mentioned, we're expecting to receive $358,000 in reimbursement for this type of service. Last year, we received $367,000. The year before was $371,000. So it's fairly consistent. And and it pretty much matches up with the amount that we write off. However, the money that comes in from the state, there's really kind of no way to match it to particular receivables. So we just write off the receivables in bulk, and then just record the revenue when it comes in to the ambulance service revenue account. So that's kind of how this works. It's been working this way for a number of years now. It does allow us to clear the books and not carry receivables that essentially we stand very little chance of collecting. We know we are going to get reimbursed a certain amount by the state, but it's not necessarily, specific to any individual receivable or group of receivables.
John,
So that was
from my
a lot of
recollection,
words, maybe a little
as-
bit shorter than the chief, but if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Just for our information, I believe that we have used a collection agency specific to this problem, and they haven't really been able to get any more significantly greater traction in resolving the outstanding balances than our own efforts. Is that still correct?
Yes, Counselor. And again, as I mentioned, there are a number of times when we deliver the service to the patient, and the most important thing is to deliver that service. Whether they are unable to give us personal information, name, address, phone numbers, that type of thing, or they refuse to give it, or they give us erroneous information, we're still stuck with having delivered the service, having produced a bill that stands very little chance of actually being paid. That's the nature of the game, whether the service is being provided by a municipal fire department, as it is here in Gloucester, or by a private company that may be anywhere else. So, that's, again, part of how this works, is that that any number of these are going to be absolutely uncollectible.
Tony?
John, on the reimbursement, is that strictly for the ambulance service?
Yes.
Okay. When you do the revenue side of the ambulance, do you take that into consideration?
Yeah, we don't know what it's going to be, but yes, so we take a look historically at the general revenues that come in as a result of collecting on the services that have been provided. And then we add some for a reasonable expectation of what the state may give us to cover for the uncollectibles. But again, we don't know what it is. We see some historical information here that would say it's $350,000. But again, there's no guarantee for how long this program with the state will continue to run. So, anything could change. So we want to be a little bit careful. We're looking, when we budget for ambulance revenue, most of the reliance is upon, historical monthly collections. And then we add a bit for what might come in from the state.
And so we go with the annual collections, so that is not what we billed out, but what we've collected. So it doesn't include the 319,735 of last year. You would not use that in your and offset it, so it'd be like a zero net gain or loss in your revenue projection. You understand what I'm trying to say, or?
Yeah, so Counselor, we're looking at historical collections, not billings.
Got it. And you do factor in some of the reimbursement.
Exactly. Yep.
So in years past, the bad debt has been forgiven or not, but reimbursed. We've been made whole by the reimbursement.
Basically, we've been made whole. Yes.
Okay. So that sort of that evens out through the FY23 budget. You've sort of evened that all out.
Right.
Okay, and this is more informational purposes than impact purposes.
Well, it does have an impact, and in particular, Kenny likes to get, uncollectible receivables off the books prior to year end.
Right, no, I understand that, particularly when we were dealing with the school lunch program.
Yep.
No, I understand that you have to balance your ledgers, so that's why we need to recognize that this has to be done.
Right.
So,
I just want to add, the auditors like to see that too, and they like to see an annual write-off. So if there's a timing, they always ask for it.
Yeah.
They're always, where's the write-off? So
Yeah, because
they notice.
because I'm sure that we're not unique in this.
No.
Other than the most affluent, towns in the Commonwealth, that probably pretty much every city of any size has this exact same issue. So, and it makes sense on why it's here, of why we have it. So,
Exactly. And some of this is related to poverty levels, not as much, but there is some forgiveness based on, the ability to pay also. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
So it's really, it comes under the heading of a municipal service for the community that we're obligated to provide, and we may absorb some of it as a municipal service. In this case, there is an offset, so we're in good shape, but it's the cost of being a city.
It's what we should be doing, Council. Yes. I mean, that's what we do.
Are there any other questions?
We provide the service.
Yeah, it's public safety. I mean, it's a huge service, and the people who can't afford it shouldn't be denied it.
Yep.
Exactly. Any other councilor questions? Okay, so as Kenny and John indicated, there are two motions relating to the fire department billing service and collection policy. The first motion, I recommend that the Budget and Finance Committee recommend to the City Council that we approve the Gloucester Fire Department billing and collection policy as presented by the Deputy Fire Chief EMS Coordinator and approved by the mayor, and further to approve the proposed fee schedule attached to and incorporated into the policy effective July 1st, 2022, and I so move.
Second,
Made and seconded. Is there any further discussion or questions? Seeing none, roll call vote. Councillor Gross,
yes.
Councillor O'Neill,
Yes.
Councillor Memhard, yes. Motion passes 3-1, unanimous recommendation. The second part of this relating to the write-offs, I move that the Budget and Finance Committee recommend that the City Council authorize the write-off of $319,735.03 in uncollectible outstanding ambulance billing, and I so move.
Second,
Further discussion, questions? Seeing none, roll call vote. Councillor Gross,
yes.
Councillor O'Neill,
Yes.
Councillor Memhard, yes. The motion again passes unanimously 3-1. 3-0, excuse me.
You're putting in another counselor here.
Yeah, well, I have to double check. We're such a popular committee.
Could have been 2-2.
Yeah. Moving on, we're back in the department that we like to be in, which is that of accepting money rather than writing it off. And we have a memorandum from the Veteran Services Director, Adam Kukuru, requesting acceptance of donations in the amount of $40 from two contributors, Sandra Sanfilippo and Maria Sanfilippo. Any discussion or questions? We've given Adam leave to not attend our meetings since these are a routine matter, and we always wish to extend our congratulations to him and also our thanks to the donors for their support of the Veterans Program on Cape Ann.
Counselor, if I can just add the note on that, I just think we should add for the record that they were made in honor of Mike Linquata.
Oh,
Very
wow.
good. Very good. Thank you so much for bringing that to our attention. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, I would make the motion that the Budget and Finance Committee recommend the City Council to accept cash donations under Mass General Law 4453A to support Cape Ann Veteran Services in the amount of $40 from the following members within our community: Sandra Sanfilippo for $20 and Maria Sanfilippo for $20. And as noted by CAO Joe Cahill, these were given in honor and in memory of Michael Linquata of blessed memory. And I so move.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion or questions? Roll call vote. Councillor Gross,
Yes.
Councillor O'Neill,
Yes,
Councillor Memhard, yes. The Veterans donations are gratefully accepted by the committee and move to recommend the council do the same. And moving from veterans to seniors, the next item is a memorandum from Elise Sinagra, our Director of Elder Services, requesting acceptance of further donations in the amount of $1,600. Are there any, is there any background here or discussion, questions? Again, Elise has been very, very active in soliciting, or not soliciting, but in accepting these. Councillor, questions? Seeing none, I would move to recommend the City Council accept cash donations under Mass General Law 4453A to support the Council on Aging in the amount of $1,600 from the following members and business partners within our community, including Senior Care, Patricia Olson, Margaret McKay, and Margaret McKay again and again, Jeffrey Schindel, Joanne McKinney, Constance Condon, Genevieve Randazza, Maureen Surratt, Joanne Libro, Ruth Burtwell, Norma Silva, Grace Simpson, and Cheryl Doucette. The total amount of $1,600. And I so move.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion or questions, comment? Seeing none, roll call vote. Councillor Gross,
Yes.
Councillor O'Neill,
yes.
Councillor Memhard, yes. Motion is unanimously accepted. Thank you. And that brings us to the final item on our agenda, which relates to our almost year-end memorandum from our city auditor, Kenny Costa, regarding accounts having expenditures exceeding authorization and the auditor's report and other related business. Kenny, the floor is yours.
Thank you. As you know, as you noted, the fiscal year is coming to a close. We have 39 accounts that are a deficit. As you can see, the biggest department is the DPW with snow and ice. The overall department, it's about $1,055,000 in a deficit. And the standard answer we're getting back from departments, I mean, today you did take care of shellfish, so now we're down to 38. So that was done tonight. But the standard answer we're getting from departments is that John Dunn, CFO, will take care of the remaining deficits. So I anticipate, as in previous years, by July or June 45th, July 15th, we'll see you'll see all the transfers for year end as a cleanup of all the accounts. So that's all I have, unless any of the councilors have any questions. I mean, this is typical at this time of year. I've seen a lot worse in previous years, but this is very typical.
So there's nothing that you see, that you or John see here that you would advise us as a matter of your concern? It's ordinary timing differences, and John is not wearing the fire captain's hat, but he's, I guess, wearing Albert Dumbledore's magician's cap, and he's going to wizard this to a balanced year-end budget.
So again, what we started to do is move funds around in various departments with simple transfers, OBTs. And what we try and do is take and concentrate in a couple of different accounts, preferably one in each department in either salary and or ordinary maintenance. And then in July, we'll be bringing to you a number of transfers out of various departments with surpluses to those accounts that have to be covered. So we're starting the process now, as we typically do in June, to kind of set the stage, to basically concentrate available funds in as few accounts as we can. And then we'll present that to you in July.
Thank you. Will councilors have any questions for John? Yes, Tracy, please. Councilor O'Neill.
Thank you, thank you. Is there a memorandum in the packet? I didn't see it in the packet.
Yeah, you weren't on the distribution list since Kenny would have sent that out last
Oh,
night.
okay, okay.
Oh, okay.
We did,
I can forward that email if you'd like, counselors.
Okay, yes, thank you.
it's a standard report that we see each Budget and Finance Committee meeting from the auditor, reflecting just a snapshot in time of where we are and where there are overdraws in some accounts that exceed their authorization. So it's a fairly standard matter.
Is there an amount?
Now, how
is
many
there an-
accounts are we looking at, Kenny? And what are the total, what you mentioned a million?
Is there too many to mention?
There's 39 accounts.
29
39 accounts.
that are
Um,
over?
The total is 1.6 million of all 39 accounts. And the biggest department is Snow and Ice with $1 million.
Okay,
So Snow and Ice is the largest one. As you know, we typically budget 766,000.
Yep.
And we expended about 1.8 million. So that's the 1,055,000. But that,
okay,
as typical in previous years, I mean, Snow and Ice, it's something that it's hard to predict, it's hard to budget for. And we've discussed this many times at BNF previously, that when you set a budget, you set a base. So if you increase that amount, you're tied to that amount in future years. You can only increase the amount, you can't decrease. So there are, it does happen in some years where we spend under the 766,000. So that way there, if we did spend under the 766,000, that money would be tied up with that budget. We wouldn't be able to transfer it out.
okay, thank you. So we overspent by $1 million? Did I hear that right?
So,
On Snow and Ice?
yeah, so Snow and Ice, it cost 1.8 million.
Okay, wow,
And we budgeted 766.
all right. Okay,
But
Thank you.
as you know, the snow is gone, but we still have,
Hey,
Oh,
hey,
and
still have to pay,
careful.
you had to pay the bills.
and the DPW did. All right, thank you. Yeah, that,
Tracy, also for your information, Kenny and John have explained to us in the past that the Snow and Ice city budget is the only budget that the state oversight board will allow us to run into a deficit. That's the only account that, in an otherwise balanced budget, that they will accept.
well, when you first said the 1.8 million, so that much in the DPW Snow and Ice budget makes sense.
Yes. That's a legal deficit, and once we go into a deficit, Jill Cahill from the mayor's office, CAO, she can approve the deficit. And that's something that once she does that, she does communicate that to the city council, to the Budget and Finance Committee through a memo.
All right, thank you very much.
So one more comment, Counselor, just so you know. So, over the past 7-8 years, I think 1 year total Snow and Ice came in at 600,000. So it was, considerably below budget. And then in 2015, it came in at what, Kenny, $3.5 million.
Yep, it came in 3.5 million. We had a $2.6 million deficit that the state allowed us to amortize over 3 years.
Wow.
So as you can see, it's a very hard number to predict, but no, 2015, as John alluded to, that was a record year.
I remember.
Never seen that before. And since it was so severe, the state allowed us to amortize that expense over a 3-year period.
Okay. Thank you.
So that's the worst that I've seen.
I remember that, yeah. So,
The year of the big snow.
a never ending snow.
Are there any other matters to bring before Budget and Finance this evening? Seeing none, I'd thank Tracy for stepping up to cover for
Thank
Jeff
you.
and ask for a motion to adjourn.
Go ahead, Tracy.
Second, oh, I motion to adjourn.
Well,
Second.
let you get back to work or catching your breath.
I didn't disappoint you, did I, Tony?
Motion's
caught
been
on
made
quick.
and seconded. Roll call vote, Counselor Gross,
Yes.
Counselor O'Neill,
Yes, please.
Counselor Memhard. Yes, absolutely. And thank you all and enjoy this lovely evening before some rain comes back in.
Yeah.
Boom.
Thank
All
you.
right,
All right,
Thanks a
thank you
lot.
all.
And thank you, Sherry. I just
Problem.
got it at 5:30, so.
No problem. I left.
Thank you for checking your email.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Thanks again, Tracy.
If it was me, it would have gone right by.
No, it's been out all day and, well, not all day, but whatever.
Yep.
I just
Good
got back
job.
to the office, so.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, you guys.
Yep,
Good night,
bye-bye.
everybody.
Good night.
Good night, Sherry.
Good
Thank you.
night.